Hey, I'm Beltek and I'm here for Only the Beat.
Give our readers a little background on where you're from originally and how you got into electronic music.
Well, I'm from Slovenia. That's a tiny country, almost one of the smallest in the world. I'm from a town capital city called Ljubljana. And this is where I live by now also. And this is where I actually first listened to electronic music, since my older brother brought home various mixtapes from various DJs. So this is when I first got in contact with that, and at first it seemed like a really strange music, you know. I didn't understand it quite good. It was like really simple, but all the same. So it was really like strange for me, since I came from like a radio guy, you know, more like vocals and stuff. But after some time, after a few years, I kind of got really into it and wanted to know how the people produce this stuff, you know. So I started like that. I played 8 years of piano, so I was also into classical music a bit, but that kind of blew away when I started making electronic music. But it definitely helps when I write some melodies and stuff. A lot of things inspire me, but I would say mainly not really guys from the electronic music world, but some random things. It doesn't even concern music sometimes, you know. It's just like random emotions that I get, or random sounds in, I don't know, one place that I am, or some commercials sometimes on TV, stuff like that. When you're traveling almost every week, like around the world, you get to meet so much nice people, different cultures, I don't know, have some different situations, like bad ones or good ones, and then come to the studio and just like think about that. Just gives you like tons of different inspirations. So this is the main reason I can write good tracks, I would say, because otherwise if you're just like at home working on some job that you don't want to work, it really depressed you. Because that was me years ago, because I couldn't be like, yeah, of course I worked in a warehouse, and besides that I also produced some music, but it was kind of not really professional, since I didn't have so much time to study how to make sounds, arrangements and stuff like that. But after Tiesto picked me up and signed my track Kenta, that was kind of, I would say, the biggest start and kind of my career.
There are a ton of DJs coming out of the Netherlands, from Sweden. You know, you have like Alesso, you have Avicii, you have Hardwell, you have Tiesto. Being from a country that's not as well known, do you ever head back to look for talent?
Yeah, well, it's definitely harder. You have to do much more work to get noticed, but once you get started, once your career starts like to build up, it gets much easier, but still you have to work on some other things. Like, for example, it's not just like making music, but it's building a brand.
Do you feel like you've kind of created your own sound, like the Beltek sound?
Not yet, but I'm getting there. I have my sound, but I'm still not happy with it, so it's still in development. The most describable note would be energy, because I don't like to play soft tracks, although I like it, don't get me wrong. Even tonight, I know I will play some soft tracks, but mainly I play really energetic, with really hard drums, a lot of one-liners before the big thing happens, like the big breakdown. So it's kind of energetic set mixed with electro and progressive house, something in between.
Do you ever watch other people's sets, you know, to observe their technique or what people are doing?
Very rare. I used to do that quite a lot, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, but nowadays I don't do that too much, because I don't have time, and the only thing I'm doing is just like listening to promos, and it's pretty much it. I'm using FL Studio combined with, of course, a sound card from RME if we're going in specifics, and various MIDI controllers, MIDI keyboards, and that's pretty much it. And tons of plugins.
What is the best venue that you think you have ever played at?
Impossible to answer because I've played a lot of venues by now, and it's just impossible to say once. I don't know, tons of it. I've done arenas, festivals, I don't know, some warehouses, huge warehouses, some really cool small clubs, some private parties which were insanely good. So I don't know, it's really hard. It just what it really matters to me is like I rather play for 10 people who are really enthusiastic than to, I don't know, 1,000 people, VIP people who are just like standing there and drinking their champagne and yeah, cool, did you saw my dress? Did you saw this? You know?
And not giving a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's more like a bar thing for me, or lounge. But if you go to a club, you need to get down, right?
Exactly.
Ooh, get
Exactly.
dressed, really.
My last question is, what is new for Beltek? Any collaborations in the works? Any albums in the
Yeah,
works?
I have a lot of news, but unfortunately, regarding the collaborations, I cannot mention it yet, since we're not in 2014. But now I just released my track Inhale a couple of months ago on Ferry Corsten's label, Flashover, and it went really, really well. Then I released my track Rock the Beat on UK's famous label Toom Records, owned by Mark Knight. And I just finished the remix for the group Cash Cash from the States. And I'm gonna release it on Universal Music, actually on a sub-label from Universal Music. It's called Big Big Records. And I'm also working for Calvin Harris' label Fly Eye on a track. So that's pretty much it for this year. Yeah. It's left, what, a month and a half. So
Yeah, it's the end
not
of the
much.
year. Well, we'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.